This full moon in Libra is speaking of that we are standing on the edge of something new. We're standing here and looking out over the horizon, and we are realizing that there is momentum building up, but it's not in motion yet. It's that familiar feeling of having thrown off the heavy backpack and still feeling the comfortable and familiar feeling of all those burdens that once was there for a long, long, long time. But here we are in new clothes, a new lighter backpack, and we're standing ready to move forward. Are you curious about your own galactic alignments? Download my Galactic Alignments Reference Guide. There's a link in the description box and pinned comment below. Welcome to New Light Living Podcast. I'm Ulrika Sullivan. I'm an intuitive spiritual life coach and a galactic astrologer. This video is a galactic astrology reading of the Libra full moon at 23 degrees 20 minutes on April 12th, 2025. Welcome. What I do in these videos, I put an outer layer of fixed stars, celestial bodies, and galactic points to the traditional Western tropical astrology wheel. And that is to help us connect with a bigger perspective, a multidimensional perspective beyond our own solar system that also supports our new expanded views of who we truly are, a multidimensional being. So this reading, I hope, is an expansive experience for you. We have a lot go over. What you will receive in this video are 3 galactic energetic themes that I've pulled out from the full moon chart. And at the end, you'll also receive 3 questions should you want to integrate this full moon in Libra energy some more. This full moon at 23 degrees of Libra is conjunct the Bootes constellation and the fixed star Arcturus at 24 degrees of Libra. The ruler of this full moon is Venus, and Venus has been on a journey in retrograde. But today, on April 12th, on the full moon, Venus is stationing direct at 24 degrees of Pisces. So she's making a big statement and has a big role at this full moon. And Venus is conjunct the Pegasus constellation and the fixed star Markab at 23 degrees of Pisces. We're going to learn much more about Venus's role here at this full moon in this video. And to emphasize this statement that Venus is making at this full moon, she is also conjunct Saturn in Pisces and the North Node in Pisces. So this is a big deal. And what we'll see in this video is how important this point at 24 degrees of Pisces is. And the role of the Pegasus constellation with so many placements still in Pisces. Now Neptune has taken the step into Aries and is at 0 degree of Aries, still conjunct Pegasus sheet, the fixed star sheet at 29 degrees of Pisces. It's an energy of anticipation at this full moon in Libra that is a very important momentum building. It's that space between a way of being in the past and anticipating a new forward movement, but not yet being in motion. And that is a highly pent up energy, if you will. And we are ready now with Neptune in Aries to start considering walking this bridge to May 24th, when Saturn is catching up with Neptune entering Aries. It's that anticipation of something being born, but not yet fully of this world. It's an energy of the first seconds of something new and realizing that there is a path to walk, a bridge to cross. And that's where we are at this full moon. Over the next few weeks and months, we are entering a significant healing portal. And we're going to talk more about this emotional healing portal in the first energetic theme coming up. Before we go into the galactic charts of this full moon, I'd like to share what the energetic themes are. The first theme is emotional healing portal. And here we're going to talk about Bootes-Arcturus. We're going to talk about Pegasus-Markab, and also an interesting bowl formation that is active now. The second theme is ORION Soul Memories Transmutation. And there's an intense focus on the Orion constellation over a couple of weeks here, but we're going to talk more about what this is all about in Energetic Theme 2. The third theme is a new soul commitment. And here we're going to talk about Asteroid Juno and Asteroid Atlantis, and also its relationship with Andromeda Mirage. And also the Mars-Pluto opposition is included in the third theme. All right, are you ready to dive into the full moon chart? Let's go. So here we have the Libra full moon at 23 degrees and 20 minutes there in Libra, conjunct Bootes-Arcturus. And in opposition, as at every full moon, the sun is conjunct Chiron at 23 degrees of Aries. And this is an important alignment that we're going to talk more about in Energetic Theme 1 coming up. The full moon is in square with Lyra Sullivan at 22 degrees of Capricorn. And this is an important emphasis on Lyra Sullivan. Lyra Sullivan has been in focus in previous videos. And at this full moon, the T-square here is suggesting that we are invited to expand into something deeper. And Lyra Sullivan here on the sky map, as you can see, is part of the Lyra constellation, the instrument Lyra. And Sullivan specifically is associated with music, with harmony and frequency and light language. So this T-square is inviting us to consider raising our vibration through frequency, whether it's music or other forms of frequency that we are in harmony with. So this full moon is suggesting that this is a guiding principle. And here we have the ruler of this full moon in Libra at 24 degrees of Pisces, conjunct Pegasus constellation and the fixed star Markab at 23 degrees of Pisces. And in this chart, Venus is retrograde because her stationing direct starts a few hours after this full moon becoming exact. And what we have here also is Saturn's conjunction, and we can also consider North Node in conjunction as well at 27 degrees of Pisces. And what we can see here is as Venus stations direct, she's also conjunct Saturn there at 25 degrees of Pisces. And the North Node is at 27 degrees of Pisces, a little bit further away, but still an active conjunction. And Venus and Saturn are conjunct Pegasus-Markab here. Venus is in active square with Orion Saiph at 26 degrees of Gemini, but also Orion Alnitak at 25 degrees of Gemini as well. So Venus and Saturn's square to the Orion constellation here is significant. And we're going to talk much more about it in Energetic Theme 2 coming up. We also have Venus and Saturn squaring the galactic center at 27 degrees of Sagittarius. This is an important growth opportunity where Venus is leading the way for a transmutation of ancient soul memories that we are now in the process of transmuting. Venus is also in a quincunx there to the full moon that we're going to talk about in the next theme coming up. So we are in a period of growth. You noticed the squares here, both from the full moon, but also from the ruler Venus in Pisces. So this is a time where we are asked to still go outside our comfort zone. And I invite everyone to consider that growing does not always have to be a challenge. Growing can be a liberation as well. And that is Pegasus constellation's main message: liberation, freedom, getting lighter, raising our frequency. And Lyra Sullivan is a guide here at this full moon to emphasize this opportunity we all have to reach and align with a higher vibration, a higher frequency. All right, let's take a look at the first energetic theme that I called Emotional Healing Portal. So here we have the first theme that I've called Emotional Healing Portal. And yes, it is really a portal because the timestamp that we have, it started March 30th with Neptune's ingress to Aries. And we are also having an end of this bridge on May 24th with Saturn's ingress to Aries on May 24th. So now we have a portal of time where we have a lot of focus on emotional healing. And at this full moon, we have Bootes-Arcturus in the lead here. Bootes-Arcturus is associated with emotional healing mastery. And with this yod that is formed here in this chart between Venus, the ruler, conjunct Saturn, and Pegasus-Markab there, a sextile to Uranus now at 25 degrees of Taurus, conjunct Perseus-Algol at 26 degrees of Taurus, and Bootes-Arcturus there. This is a directional yod that is inviting us to truly focus on the higher consciousness that we can open up to as we are healing emotional wounds. And Chiron, conjunct the sun there, is really the highlight of this yod being in the center. So Chiron is holding up a mirror to us, and the sun is reflecting that light in the mirror to allow us to unearth, to highlight emotional struggle, emotional wounds that may be ready now to surface and be transmuted to a higher frequency. Chiron is transiting in orbit between Saturn and Uranus in the sky. Saturn represents the material world in traditional astrology, and Uranus is representing the divine, the cosmos. And it's said that if we want the promise of Uranus liberation and freedom and access to the cosmos, we have to walk the path through Chiron, who is orbiting in between. So here we are walking this bridge at this time with this sextile between Venus, Saturn, and Uranus, forming this yod to Bootes-Arcturus and the full moon. So Chiron functions both as a mirror with the sun's light here and a bridge at this full moon to highlight emotional healing and what's behind that emotional healing. And you can also see Arcturus there in the Bootes constellation that I've highlighted on the sky map. And it's fairly easy to spot in the sky. With the emphasis on Venus here and all the placements very tightly together there in Pisces, conjunct the Pegasus constellation, we also have a bowl formation that is highly important and is a signature of this bridge. We have a minor grand trine forming with Uranus, the sextile there, and also Mars and Canis Minor Procyon. Canis Minor Procyon is at 26 degrees of Cancer, and Mars is now at 27, almost 28 degrees of Cancer. And part of this bowl is also another minor grand trine with Uranus conjunct Perseus-Algol, Mars conjunct Canis Minor Procyon, and also the south node now at 27 degrees of Virgo, conjunct the supergalactic center. So these two minor grand trines are forming a bowl formation that is active between April 3rd and April 14th. So this bowl has been active all the way since April 3rd and is culminating right around the full moon. And what we can see here is that water and earth elements are involved in this bowl. And it also suggests again that Saturn in a water sign and Uranus in an earth sign is also that mix of integration with Saturn in a water sign and with Uranus in an earth sign and with Chiron in fire. It also suggests the symbolism of this earth and water bowl is the integration between the divine with source and earth is now happening. And Chiron is the igniter of that in Aries. And with such emphasis on these late degrees of Pisces and the Pegasus constellation, I'd like to highlight Pegasus-Markab some more here next. So I also want to highlight the Great Square here. And Pegasus constellation is part of the Great Square, which holds a promise of the winged horse, of liberation, of freedom. In myth, Pegasus was sprung from Medusa's head as Perseus was chopping her head off, and out formed the winged horse Pegasus from that symbolized the liberation. And if we take it a little further, if we liberate ourselves from the limitations of our logical mind, we are also accessing or invited to this liberation and freedom. So this theme is very much part of the process that we're in as we heal emotional traumas and old wounds. We also liberate our logical mind and the limitations that we place on ourselves. And the emphasis on Markab is important at this full moon because Markab is associated with the physical transformation of the body as a vessel of the soul, emphasizing the responsibility to elevate our vibrational frequency in physical form, the embodiment of our soul. And this is an important message of this full moon, that we're invited to also connect deeper with our body, to allow our souls to be embodied from inside out. Chiron's placement here in opposition to Bootes-Arcturus is really an important mirror with the sun's light shining on it. So this full moon is inviting us to use this stabilizing energy of the bowl to help integrate our soul with our vessel, because it's through that integration that we can raise our frequency ultimately. And the emotional healing transmutation that we are invited to do here through Chiron's emphasis and being a mirror to the full moon here, and really emphasizing the healing opportunity that we have, and especially the first half of April here. Mars's position here, conjunct Canis Minor Procyon. Canis Minor Procyon is also representing new spiritual technology. And Mars in opposition to Lyra Sullivan here is suggesting that it's frequency-based. So Mars is really igniting this new way of relating to our body as an instrument for higher frequency consciousness to come through us. And this may be the momentum and anticipation that is building this energy at this full moon, because as we move in to the second half of April, we will move into transmutation of Orion soul memories. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next energetic theme coming up. So here we have the second theme that I've called Orion Soul Memories Transmutation. And we did talk a little bit about it in the solar eclipse video, but now it's getting hot. So the members only video in my YouTube membership will be all about this Orion soul memories transmutation in much more detail. But here in this video, I'd like to highlight that the full moon is in a trine with the Orion Nebula M42 at 23 degrees of Gemini. And that is an important support for this transmutation to happen. This trine is a flowing energy that is also a statement from the full moon. It's okay, let's go. But there's also Jupiter, who is now in a position of being in conjunct with the first Orion fixed star, Orion Regal, at 17 degrees of Gemini. And also, I've pointed out the ruler Venus and Saturn there in conjunction, in square with Orion Alnitak there at 25 degrees of Gemini. The fixed star Orion Alnitak is very much associated with peacemaking and wanting to be in balance. So Venus square here to Orion Alnitak is very much a call for where do we need to balance our energy, specifically our feminine energy within, to reach a state of peace. But there are two more really important squares to Orion constellation that really makes this an intense focus at this full moon. The nodal axis, now at 27 degrees of Pisces and Virgo respectively, is in T-square with Orion Scythe at 26 degrees of Gemini. Orion Scythe is a natural transmuter of negative energy. The direction that we receive here, the direction that we're going in through the nodal axis, is very much this guidance around energy transmutation at this time. And also Orion Scythe is always opposite the galactic center. So this natural transmutation of energy with focus on our own black hole, the galactic center here, is very much in emphasis at this full moon. And lastly, we have Mercury now at 28 degrees of Pisces, now direct since April 7th, in square with Orion Betelgeuse at 29 degrees of Gemini. And Mercury is conjunct Pegasus sheet there, along with Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries. So this is an important square as well, activating this soul memory transmutation. So what we have here is a significant activation in square energy between Pegasus constellation and Orion constellation. This is a significant, intense interaction and influence between Venus, Saturn, North Node, Mercury, and Jupiter over there expanding it all for Orion Regal, the nebula, Alnitak, Scythe, and Betelgeuse. This is a period of time that is just starting with Jupiter's expansion here, starting at 17 degrees of Gemini. And as Jupiter is proceeding here in its path over the second and third decan of Gemini, we will have access to a lot of soul memories, primarily guided by this square and Venus's activity in late Pisces here, maintaining that square. So between Venus and Saturn here, maintaining this square all the way until June 9th. So all the way until May 1st, Venus is going to be guiding this square. And then Saturn is, of course, in the background all the way to May 24th, when Saturn is entering Aries. So this interplay between Venus and Saturn conjunct the Pegasus constellation here at this time in square with the Orion constellation is a call for transmuting Orion soul memories over the period of time here. What are your galactic alignments to the Orion constellation? Go check it out and download my reference guide. There's a link in the description and a pinned comment below. And for those of you who are members of my newly started YouTube membership, you'll receive this video about this period of time where we're going to learn much more about each star and the energetic signature of each of the Orion fixed stars here in that members only video. And within the membership, you can also ask questions about your own galactic alignments and receive personal answers from me. So join us in the membership. So the moon will continue through Scorpio and also enter Sagittarius in the next couple of days after the full moon and be in opposition, conjunct the great attractor on April 17th. The moon will be opposite Orion Regal. So that's also another highlight to pay attention to. So that may be the starting point when we start to walk over that bridge as we feel this anticipation of something bigger coming at this full moon. Yes, so Orion constellation has a significant role in human galactic history. If you look in your galactic chart, you may find alignments to the Orion constellation, whether it's Rigel or Betelgeuse or Alnitak or Alnilam. Many of us have soul history, soul incarnations with interacting or incarnating within the Orion constellation. And this is also an experience. We're transmuting energy from those lifetimes still. And this period of time on Earth is significant for emotional healing, for soul healing of such memories. So dive into your galactic chart to see how this activation and Venus and Saturn, the Pegasus constellation, helping to guide this important time in our soul's journey. And I want to mention now Jupiter's exact conjunction to Orion Rigel. Orion Rigel is very much associated with invention. We are invited to learn and to expand from this experience over the next couple of weeks. We are here to expand our own consciousness, raise our vibration, and what can we learn from this time that is helping us to liberate ourselves, helping us to be more light, have a greater sense of freedom. So with that intention, we are launching now, standing at the edge of this bridge and starting to walk over that bridge after this full moon. And at this full moon, the only planets that are not interacting with Orion constellation is Pluto, Mars, and Uranus. But Pluto and Mars are going to have significant role coming up with the Mars-Pluto opposition and Aquila Altair conjunct Pluto here. So let's take a look at the third energetic theme that I've called a new soul commitment. So here we have the third theme that I've called a new soul commitment. And here I want to highlight Mars at 27 degrees of Cancer conjunct Canis Minor Procyon. And Procyon is very much a new groundbreaking type of energy when it comes to spiritual technology. Very much focus on Canis Minor Procyon here by Mars being conjunct. We also have Pluto almost in opposition here, and this is building Pluto conjunct Aquila Altair. Aquila Altair is associated with this inner struggle that we often have between our material world and our divine spiritual self, and how to integrate those. And we can call it also the mastery between the ego and the spiritual self. So Pluto is here, conjunct Aquila Altair, to permanently transform that relationship within ourselves. I also want to highlight asteroid Karma there, that is at 4 degrees 55 minutes in Leo. And Karma is a marker for important karmic soul journey transmutation. And clearly we're heading into such a time with Mars here, moving closer and closer to the exact opposition with Pluto, Aquila Altair. What caught my attention was this exact square between asteroid Karma in Leo and asteroid Atlantis at 4 degrees of Scorpio conjunct the Shapley attractor at this time. So this also indicates that this time is a time of growth that is associated with our collective soul journey. With the asteroid Atlantis conjunct Shapley attractor, which is at 2 degrees of Scorpio, it suggests that the shifts that we are in, consciousness shifts that we are experiencing and having opportunity to be part of, is also felt at the universal level beyond planet Earth, of course, but even beyond our own galaxy and way further out. So it's all linked together, but asteroid Atlantis conjunct Shapley attractor may suggest that ancient soul memories from the Atlantean times, ancient civilizations on Earth, are also linked into universal wisdom. And that helps us also to connect with the potential magnitude of the consciousness shifts that we're in right now. So we better pay attention to that, right? So with Neptune's ingress to Aries here, we have Neptune at 0 degree conjunct Pegasus sheet, the ultimate liberator. But we also have Juno at 0 degree of Sagittarius at this full moon. And considering Mars's ingress here to Leo on April 18th, just a couple of days after the full moon, this exact 0 degree grand fire trine will be very much emphasized. There's some sort of ignition here at the 0 degree of the fire signs. It's like putting a key into the ignition and turning around. And this will happen likely around April 18th when Mars is entering Leo. This is a signature of a new soul commitment of some sort. And this fire grand trine at 0 degree is also activating oppositions. For example, Juno's opposition to Pleiades. And I just noticed I've placed Andromeda Mirage in Pleiades position all this time. It happens. So forgive me for that. Juno is opposite the Pleiades constellation at 0 degree of Gemini. And we also have an opposition between Mars and Pluto, of course, and Aquila Altair, as we mentioned. And Neptune is opposite the supergalactic center at 2 degrees of Libra. So this is also activating significant energies to hold this ignition in place. This is very much a signature of a new chapter, a new commitment. So with this T-square with Atlantis and Shapley Attractor, we can also, so as the sun will travel now the last degrees of Aries and enter Taurus, there will be a square, an exact square between the sun and Pluto on April 23rd, which will also seal the deal here with this new soul commitment. And as you see here, if you look at the top of this chart, there's a lot that points to Canis Minor Procyon, and also, of course, emphasized by Mars's presence there and asteroid karma as well. This is a significant focus and invitation for us to focus on new integration between science and spirituality. Spiritual technology can come in many forms through frequency. So I chose to highlight Canis Minor Procyon here on the sky map, and also for you to tune into this beautiful blue star of Canis Minor Procyon. Canis Minor Procyon is significant in focus here at this full moon, with the invitation to integrate harmony, frequency, but also with new technology coming in. Canis Minor Procyon is very high vibrating energy, often 6-dimensional and above. And for those who have alignments to Canis Minor Procyon at 26 degrees of Cancer at this full moon, you may also receive epiphanies or synchronicities related to how you can use your energy differently to harmonize your vessel, your body. And also, if you have any alignments around the 0 degree point, give or take a degree on both sides, this is also a signature of you making a new commitment at the soul level as part of your soul journey. So this might be so this time around the full moon may be optimal time to contemplate that new soul commitment. So this expansion of consciousness is really kicking off now at this full moon. So here we have asteroid Juno, who represents this unique soul commitment. Juno is very much about commitments and staying loyal, but staying loyal to the uniqueness of our soul and making a renewed commitment to that expression. We also have Atlantis there, which is, and Juno in opposition to Pleiades is inviting us to expand our consciousness, raise our frequency so that we can collaborate and co-create with our galactic soul brothers and sisters supporting us at this time. And we'll talk more about Pleiades as Uranus is transiting that 0 degree of Gemini in July. But Atlantis as an asteroid now reminding us of the vastness of ancient wisdom, universal wisdom, conjunct the Shapley attractor here, also in square and T-square with Mars and Pluto, the transformational power of our soul journey, the transformational power of those memories that we can recall now at this full moon and onwards. Oh, yes. Wow. We are making a new soul commitment to bring with us as we're standing on this edge, having the view of that bridge now between now and May 24th. We're beginning the walk. And this is really an invitation to walk across that bridge, that healing portal. So if you want to learn more about the Orion Soul Memories Transmutation that we will be going through now in April, join me in my YouTube membership. You can select the Galaxy level for access to the members only videos, or the star level where you can ask questions on your own galactic alignments and receive personal answers from me, or the universe level, which is really truly a significant support to this channel so that I can do what I do. This is a significant time where we have a lot to swift through, but it's also an opening. The purpose is for us to feel lighter, to elevate our consciousness so that we can ultimately, as we move in further in this year, bring our energy to balance so that we can liberate ourselves from any heavy burdens and imbalances that we may have been dragging along and carrying for so long. This is an important time to go within still, even if Venus and Mercury are now direct, but we are on our way to consciously co-create with the universe. And that is something that we cannot do unless we are of a higher frequency. So that lower frequency energy, sometimes associated with soul memories from Orion, for example, those are now in the process of being released. This is also likely a culmination of soul work that many of us have done over a long time. So I have a couple of questions. Should you want to integrate this Libra full moon energy some more? The first question is, what is something that you now are starting to see differently from before? Because when we are going through emotional healing and transmuting energy that we no longer is serving us, we also are releasing lower frequency energies. And with that release, we can also form a different perspective on something. So what is that in your life? How does this emotional healing process support you to feel lighter, to increase your vibration? And often on the physical plane, we come into a different perspective on something. So what is that? The second question is, what is something that you are becoming aware of now, or that you may have worked on for a while, that you'd like to make peace with for good? Forgiveness is a strong energy force for increasing and raising our vibration. So here we have something that likely for most of us are coming up that we now are ready to make peace with. So what is that for you? The third question is, what is that commitment that you now are ready to make to your spiritual self to support your liberation on the physical plane? And the invitation is to make a commitment that makes you have a greater sense of freedom. So I encourage you to write it down, meditate on it, contemplate it. What is that new soul commitment that you're making to yourself? Are you curious about your own galactic alignments? Download my Galactic Alignments Reference Guide. There's a link in the description box and the pinned comment below. Enjoy this emotional healing portal. It's a significant time in our soul's journeys here on Earth, and also the baggage that we continue to release. And as a result, feeling lighter, reaching for higher frequencies so that we can also step into the service that we are here to do. And together, we are moving through and moving over, walking this bridge. And there's much more to come. So I hope you're with me. Thank you for listening to New Light Living Podcast. I'm Ulrika Sullivan. I'm an intuitive spiritual life coach and a galactic astrologer. I can't wait to come back with another video. Come visit me on ulrikasullivan.com or visit my link tree. There are links in the description box and the pinned comment below. Take care, everyone. Bye.